Why, hello again. Look, it's not Matt this time. Turns out I've got beef with people that aren't named Matt versus Japan in the community. Yeah, guys, as much as I'd love to just sit here and teach Japanese through manga, do recognize that I gotta do some other stuff, vary it up here a little bit. It's good for the algorithm, and honestly, I find stuff like this really fun. And I've been wanting to talk about Fluyo for a little while now, so here we are. So, for the uninitiated, what is Fluyo? Fluyo was supposed to be the Duolingo killer that everybody's been trying to make for a little while now. Nothing really seems to work. Duolingo has not lost its spot at the top of the food chain, and honestly, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon with stuff like this. Now, what are my thoughts on Duolingo before we get into this? I'm one of the few people out there who actually doesn't really see a problem with Duolingo. I think Duolingo is completely fine. Now, I acknowledge that it is not the best or fastest way to learn Japanese, and you cannot get fluent using just Duolingo. This is one of those things that I feel like everybody above a certain level of mental maturity understands this, right? You can't just get fluent using nothing but Duolingo. If they have ever claimed that, they should not have claimed that. But if you want to use it as a tool in your repertoire of language learning tools, there's actually legitimately nothing wrong with it. And I will do a video about it at some point. But I do also understand that people want to dethrone Duolingo. And, Ikenna, our buddy Ikenna here, started himself a little company in order to do just that. So now that we're done with Duolingo, what is Fluyo? Fluyo is basically Duolingo, but it's worse in every conceivable way. But why sit here and tell you about it? Why not just show you the app?
Learning to read Japanese fluently will take some time, but don't worry. Just learning the basics will give you a huge head start. Japanese uses 3 writing systems: kanji, hiragana, and katakana. First, let's look at the hiragana and katakana, known together as the kana.
So it runs you through some fairly wordy explanations, and then it finally gets around to showing you some stuff here. Like here, it's going to show us how... Like here, it's going to show us a mnemonic for te.
The sound of te is te. This sound isn't written the same way in English, so we'll need to change the spelling for our keyword. To remember te, think of a one-legged table.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Think of a one-legged table.
What is it? What does te look like again?
One-legged table.
Oh, my elderly 30-year-old eyes must be failing me here. I don't see the word table anywhere. Did you mean a one-legged, Ikenna, my guy. How much money did this make again? $1,226,666. All right, let's start thinking of those stretch goals. All right. How much money would it cost to get that word table in there, okay? How much are you thinking? Like 1,000? 2,000? 5,000? But okay, let's move on here. Okay. Let's learn some more characters.
Hi.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Hi.
What is it pronounced like?
Hi.
Need that one more time.
Hi.
Okay, I'm starting to get it now. One more time. Give me one more time.
Hi.
How did you say it?
Ki.
How are you saying it again?
Hi.
Okay, I think that's about all I can take. Keep in mind, this is not stuff that was like months out, right? This isn't like I've been using the app and I'm 100 hours in and this is little things that's piling up. This is the very beginning of the app is like this. So now that you've gotten a little taste of Fluyo and what it has to offer, we're going to go ahead and go over Ikenna's newest video, the Fluyo's launch what happened video here, because there's some very funny stuff in here that I am more than happy to talk about. So here we go.
Never in my life have I experienced something quite like the launch of my language learning app, Fluyo.
You guys see what's going on with that picture there, the thumbnail, the 16-minute thumbnail there? I want you to keep that in the back of your head. I have a feeling that's going to be coming up again at some point.
It was wild. Some people praised us. Fluyo is stunning. It's so good. Better than Duolingo. Others were disappointed or upset. The app doesn't work. It's so buggy. it's trash. So what actually happened? What went well? What did we get wrong? And what have we been doing over this last month to improve the app? Let's talk about it. First, what is Fluyo and why was it created? Several years back, I had the idea, what if you could learn a language through a video game? In theory, if you could learn the 3,000 most common words in a language quickly, master the key grammar points using those same exact words, and then practice both vocab and grammar in super fun battles, that would be incredible.
Here's what I find fascinating about this. One of the major criticisms of the Duolingo app is that it spends more time sort of fluffing you up than it does actually teaching you a language. There's a ton of little minutia, like popping little bubbles and basically doing things that aren't necessarily language related, more just to stimulate your brain. So it gets a lot of flack for that, which is fine. You can criticize it for that. I totally get it. It feels like adding even more to that is a bad idea. I don't see how this is going to be the thing that kills Duolingo if it's basically doing more of one of Duolingo's biggest criticisms, and that is spending more time managing your stats and making sure you can win your Pokemon battles than it is actually, giving you language to learn. Not that I necessarily hate the idea. In fact, I personally was fairly interested in Fluyo when it first came to the market and when we first heard about it, and then it actually came out. Less interested in it now.
And that's the core intent behind Fluyo. And while we currently have thousands of users who really love the app,
ooh, that doesn't even add up to 40,000. How many users does Duolingo have? Ooh, that's a real David and Goliath situation you put yourself in here, but okay, I'll hear you out.
And I encourage you to try it out yourself. It's live on both iOS and Android. At launch, we also had plenty of people who felt like we did not execute on our vision. And honestly, I don't disagree with them.
This language, plenty of people. That's kind of a weird way to phrase basically the majority of the community. Okay, so here's my thing. All right, I've got Fluyo's stats up right here. There are 719 reviews, and okay, if we call love the app everything 3-star and up, I'll give you 3 stars as loves the app, even though I shouldn't. I'm a given guy. We'll give you 3 stars and up. That's maybe about 350 to 400 people who say that they love the app. That's not good numbers. That's if I give you the biggest benefit of the doubt in the world, that's maybe 60% of the fan base who actually took time to review the app say that they like it. And I'll be real with you. It's not looking too good if you look outside of just the reviews here, okay? 1 star is the second highest thing that you have. You got a lot of 5 stars, that's good, but 1 star is trailing just below the 5 stars, and that's not a good look.
And the thing is, well, if you're going to charge money for a product, then you have to be willing to take the heat and genuinely listen to feedback, even when it is sharp and critical.
Somebody should really teach that lesson to Matt versus Japan. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're still on Matt versus Japan here on the Sammy Senpai YouTube channel.
It has been a tough month, and it took me some time to collect myself and gather my thoughts. But here we are. And here are the 3 main things that most people, honestly, myself included, feel went wrong at launch. Now, make no mistake, we are absolutely going to be improving on every one of these because you guys, the community, have spoken. Also, at the end of the video, I do have something kind of special that I think you guys have been waiting a long time for that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So wait till then. Number 1, bugs and poor performance. At launch, especially on Android, but also on iOS, Fluyo had a lot of bugs and performance issues. This is ultimately my mistake. A lot of game developers make this error, and I did too.
I don't understand why big creators always have to do this. Don't be sorry for something and then immediately give a justification for it. Okay, guys, I messed up. The app wasn't good, and I made some mistakes. Okay, there's a lot of bugs, and I really take that. Okay, that's on me. But also, all kinds of big game developers do the same thing. Shut up. Just be sorry for it and don't give justifications. How hard is this? I don't think it's that difficult.
I set a big date in my head, which was going to be January 1st, and I felt like it was perfect to launch then. It's perfect timing. It's going to be New Year's. People want to kick off their New Year's resolution. And what I should have done was said, no, we're not releasing until it's ready. Now, we did test the app quite rigorously over the last year and a half with alpha and beta. However, behind the scenes, it was kind of like, you know, when you have guests that are coming over and you make, or at least you try to make a bunch of last minute changes before they arrive. That's pretty much what ended up happening. We added new features, we polished things, we tried to get everything spick and span before the big launch day, and several of those new things we did not test properly, and it really hurt performance.
God damn it, dude. I can't with these freaking salesmen. Guys, the app, it came out awful. It's terrible. But don't you see, we did it for you. We were doing it out of love. We were just cramming in so many features and so much polish and making it so perfect because we wanted to be perfect for you. It was a mistake made out of love. Like, come on, don't... You know what you're doing when you say this. This framing is just insane to me. You released the app, it was super bad. But you justify it by saying that all of the performance issues were just because you were trying to put so much good stuff into the app that it made the app a little bit worse. It's just... I just wish they wouldn't do this. That's all I can really say about it.
Now, that is not to say that without these changes, the app would have been perfect, but we definitely would not have had nearly the amount of issues. For example, we had this last minute background blur that we added because we wanted the app to be a bit sexy, and we didn't get to test it in time, and it literally nuked performance on Android. Ouch. Now, if I could have a do-over, I would definitely have given us a few more weeks to properly test and make those final changes and really make sure that we were as stable as possible before launching. I maybe even would have marked the launch as an open beta, which a lot of people in Discord actually suggested, and I think is a brilliant idea, but I did not see their comments until after we already launched, which really sucks.
Typical. My man's out here really just admitting straight up that he does not listen to community feedback. How do you go that long without reading the chat to figure out what's going on in the community? How does that even happen, even on accident?
And honestly, I totally get the frustration of, having this app that you've been waiting for years and you're excited to try it, and then on launch day, it's not really working for you and there's a lot of bugs. And it didn't happen for everyone, but for those who experienced those bugs, that must have been a really crappy experience, and I apologize.
More Weasley language, more trying to get out of it. Didn't happen for everybody, okay? It didn't happen for everybody, but for those that it did happen to, more minimalization, just trying to sweep it the best you can. It's really gross. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a little trick that we call minimizing. What we're trying to do is vaguely point out the problem in a way that gives us a little bit of leeway to say that, okay, well, it didn't happen for everybody. There was like 2 or 3 people out there who didn't have any bugs or performance issues. So for the people it did happen to, making it sound like that's the minority, sorry that it happened.
ですから、ごめんなさい。私のミスだ。
You know, if I remember correctly, Evil Dia's video on this got really harsh on him for speaking some Japanese here. My thing is not necessarily that he does the apology in Japanese. I'm more offended by the type of Japanese that he's using right now. That's like he's doing this in like this really like joking tone that makes it sound like he's not really that sorry for what he did. It's just there is a way to apologize sincerely in Japanese, and had he done that, I actually, I wouldn't have any problems with it whatsoever. But it's this like really it's this tone of voice that he's using where like I'm not a pitch accent guy, so I'm not going to get on his case for the way that he was necessarily saying the words, but he very, very clearly exaggerated his voice to sound as funny as possible, and I don't think that's really that cool. You took $1.25 million from the community. I'd be a little bit more sorry than this if I were you.
Yeah, my bad. So that said, what have we been up to? Now, our engineering team, which is honestly quite small compared to most other apps, they've been small, but they've been mighty. They've been hustling nonstop, sometimes 18-hour days to get these fixes in. We've had major Android performance improvements, updated our streak system, improved load times across iOS and Android, removed that damn background blur, and a lot more. We've already made a ton of progress. There still might be lingering issues for this month, depending on your device, but pretty soon, we're gonna have complete stability.
Complete stability? What are you talking about? What are you stabilizing? There are words missing from your dialogue. The voices are messed up. It doesn't know how to read Japanese. It is a Japanese learning app that doesn't know how to read Japanese. It doesn't matter if the app is running in 60 FPS on high-end graphics. If it can't read hiragana, it is not a good app.
Which I am really looking forward to. We also brought in a QA person, Jamie, from our community to help test new updates before they go live. He actually volunteered. He was like, listen, I love Fluyo, but y'all need some QA help. And he was absolutely right. And he's doing an awesome job. Number 2, language data. Right now, if you use Fluyo and you click on a language that isn't fully supported, we only have flashcards and some mini games.
He's right, If you're one of the people who doesn't just pick beginner in one of like the 5 languages that they currently have available, then the app really is just Anki, but infinitely worse, and it's just completely pointless. And this is one of those blunders that baffles me to the point of almost being insulting. A lot of people heard about this app like 4 years ago. So what was Ikenna's plan here? Did he think that people were just going to sit on their hands and just not do any studying during that time? No, most of the people who heard about this app 4 years ago have now spent 4 years studying the language that they were excited to use in the app. So of course they're not going to be excited for the beginner stuff. They're going to be excited for the intermediate or advanced stuff. And then you hit those buttons, it's just awful. And there's no explanation for it. You don't get to do the fun little adventure mode thing that they have set up. It's just add flashcards for lots and lots of money. For $1.25 million as flashcards.
Now, if you click on a language that is fully supported, but not for your difficulty level, then you might see only word lessons in our journey, and not any of our grammar audio lessons, which are literally the meat of our courses. Admittedly, people are like, yo, what is this? You spent years just to create flashcards? And I totally get where they're coming from. But for people learning a language that we do fully support at a difficulty level we actually have robust content for, basically beginner, a lot of those people love the app.
What is this next level cope here? Do I gotta tell him? Do I gotta be the bad guy in this situation? You gotta stop using this word a lot. At this point, I legitimately don't know if it's delusion or if it's just disconnection from the community. I'm telling you, a lot of people don't like the app. you're handing the word a lot, a little bit too much weight to carry in this situation. At some point, you're going to have to face the light here and just acknowledge that basically the vast majority of the community really doesn't like this app. You have 800,000 subscribers, and maybe 40,000 of them have actually downloaded and tried out the app. And of those people, like 300 to 400 of them have given you a 3-star or higher rating. I don't think those numbers mean what you think they mean, my guy.
Which explains why there's such a big gap in reviews. So then the question becomes, if my experience right now is not the greatest because you don't have support, the proper support that I need, when can I expect full support for my language and level? This honestly is our biggest issue. And while it takes time, of course, and a lot of trial and error, trust me, I know, to create quality courses, we have to do better. So here's exactly how we plan to solve this issue. 1, our co-CEO is working with our course creators on a custom course creation tool, that's a tongue twister, that will massively expand our course library, both in quantity and quality in a short amount of time. By April, we're hoping to cover all difficulties for our 5 core languages, and maybe even add full courses for our light support languages like Portuguese, Italian, and Dutch.
When will they learn? When does the foot come out of the mouth? You just said that one of the biggest issues that you've had so far is that you set a very specific date for when you wanted the app to get released. You are now giving us a specific time frame for when this gigantic rollout of brand new content is going to happen. It's March 21st at the time of making this video. I don't see April being your month, my guy. Let me just put it that way. Maybe April of 2027 could be your month. April of 2025 is pretty, it's pretty much here.
These new courses are a complete revamp. It's some good stuff. I don't think anyone has ever created anything like this before because it technically wasn't possible. So I'm super excited. So that's the first thing.
Lesson number 2. You probably shouldn't be using words like, nobody's ever come up with this before. We're accomplishing something that has never been done before because it was never possible to do this before. Right now, expectations are here, and your app is not meeting those expectations. I promise you, my guy, I promise you, raising the expectations up to here, not a good idea. Not a good idea. Ikenna, we need to humble ourselves. Just take ourselves down just a peg, a 2, a 3. Well, you're probably not coming up with the thing that nobody has ever come up with before. I have a feeling it has something to do with AI implementation. Couple of things. One, your big bad boss monster Duolingo is already doing that, and it's not horrible from what I've seen. And there's just so many other ways to use AI these days that I really don't see what you're going to come up with that nobody else has come up with. The other problem being, I'm pretty sure a lot of the problems in your app right now come from the fact that you and your team were using AI to take a shortcut.
Hi.
I think that's where a lot of the mistranslations come in. I think that's where a lot of the mispronunciations of some of the characters come in. That's probably where a lot of these problems are already coming from. If your plan right now is to implement even more AI and have it create an abundance of new content, I don't think that's going to work out for you, my guy.
2, until these changes are rolled out, we're going to be graying out access for new users to any parts of the app that aren't fully supported, so they don't get the wrong impression. They can still choose a different difficulty in their language settings to unlock that content, but it won't be part of the default onboarding. So no one clicks on this and like, where's the content?
Okay. For a lot of the issues that I happen to have with you, Ikenna, and your app Fluyo here, I do think that's a good idea. Maybe if it's not working properly, you don't advertise it. I think that's totally fine. It's probably like 80th down on your list of issues right now, but every little step forward is progress, I guess.
3. We're adding full beginner support for French this week, and next week we're rolling out the second part of our Korean beginner course.
Ikenna, I've been trying so hard to be kind to you throughout this video, but listen to me. Your current languages don't work. You do not have sustainable product yet. Stop adding new things. You are not ready to add new things. Get the app to a sustainable place first, and then you can add more languages. When your Japanese course can properly read all 52 hiragana characters,
Hi.
you can add French and Korean.
As well as Hangul lessons. And 4th, we brought on Aggie, who is an incredible woman and our new head of languages. She used to manage language data for over 100 languages at Drops. One time, she even flew across northern Japan to help preserve the endangered Ainu language. She is amazing. We're so happy to have her, and she is going to be helping us massively expand our content and eliminate those pesky language data errors like, answers being accepted when they shouldn't be, or vice versa. Number 3, UX and product shortfalls. We also fell short on UX, which stands for user experience, and in certain areas our product itself. So at launch, some of our UX issues were pretty bad, like account creation issues, no option to skip the tutorial, or the first creature being too difficult. Some people even said Fluyo Dark Souls.
I just want to point in here, inability to skip the tutorial was in fact an issue. I did run into it. Luckily, it does seem they have ironed that little issue out. So, credit where credit's due. That was in fact an issue that does seem to have fixed itself. Good job. Good job, Ikenna. Good job.
Which is not what we're trying to do. Now, most of these major UX issues have already been fixed, and we're going to continue to refine them. But UX isn't just the obvious stuff. It is the 100 little things you don't notice when they're done well, but you definitely notice when they're not. Now, we easily have 100 to 200 small changes and tweaks that we need to make if we really want the app to feel amazing. Now, personally, I already have a very long list based on my own personal observations, but also some of the feedback that we've been getting from you guys. It bothers me, and we're going to fix it. I literally have had dreams about fixing UX. I think I've had 4, maybe 5 dreams. Help me.
I don't know what else to say at this point. It's not funny. I know I'm laughing because I'm just an outsider looking in on this. If the app had turned out amazing, I would have been more than happy to talk about how amazing it is. Des is not, you shouldn't be so glib. You shouldn't be so glib about you took over $1 million from these people and you gave them a pile of shits. And you're just being so oh, I'm a sitcom funny, bazinga. That's not the attitude you should have while you're apologizing for how awful this is. Save that stuff for another YouTube video. Take this seriously.
To address this, we're going to hire a UX/product engineer who will work hand in hand with me to speedrun these fixes and help Fluyo truly shine. And also help me sleep at night. It's a special role, mainly equity-based initially, a generous equity offer, and we're really looking for someone entrepreneurial, kind of an indie hacker type of person. So if you're interested and you think you're this person, there is a link in the description. Please apply. Honestly, it's going to be one of the coolest roles at Fluyo. But besides UX, there are also product shortfalls. Our minigames could definitely be more fun. Matching up with people online could be quicker and easier. We're missing story and lore elements in the world, and we've just generally got stuff to improve. There's no question there. But
eventually, I'm going to have to stop pointing this out. I know, but it doesn't teach. It doesn't teach very well. It doesn't teach very well. Why are we talking about adding lore when it cannot pronounce the character he? You are destined to overpromise and underdeliver if you make all these grand exclamations about all the stuff that you plan on putting in before you remember to put in the word table in a sentence where they clearly say the word table. I know some people are going to get on my case. Somebody are going to think I'm nitpicking. I'm not nitpicking. I think there's a lot of issues that need to be solved before we talk about any of this stuff that he's talking about right now. He's talking about making the mini games more fun and making matchmaking better, but nobody should be playing the mini games or doing the matchmaking anyway because this is not good. This would be like talking about the ways that we can improve performance on Forspoken. Like, you shouldn't be playing Forspoken in the first place. Who cares if it runs better if it's not something you should be doing anyway? You should be playing Duolingo at this point. Just straight up, you should delete Fluyo and just get back on Duolingo if that's the experience you're looking for, because it's not here.
Going forward, I don't want to fix these things in a vacuum. I really want to build in public. We started that way, but we shifted away from it when I got sick. And had I never got sick, there would literally be like 500 build Fluyo with me videos on the channel.
Oh, here we go. For those that don't know much about Ikenna and the cripplingly awful things that he's had to endure over these last few years, let me go ahead and get you filled in real quick. Our poor, beautiful Ikenna has been suffering from an illness, which has made taking that $1.25 million and performing app maintenance very difficult. Are you ready? It's time for some more elderly 30-year-old wisdom. When somebody tells you about how sick they are, you should be sympathetic. When somebody reminds you about how sick they are, you should be skeptical. Ikenna is somebody who has reminded us about how sick he is quite a few times now. I'm checking my email right now, and it seems like Ikenna has sent me 65 emails over the course of Fluyo's creation. And all of these do have to do with Fluyo. They are the only emails I've ever gotten from Ikenna. Basically, every video that Ikenna has made, or every public appearance that he's made since he even brought up the word Fluyo, has in some way wrapped around to how sick he is. And I really need to stress this. I am not happy that Ikenna was sick or is sick or however he's currently feeling right now. I do not wish awful things like that on anybody. However, I also think it's important that we not just cut a pass to somebody because they're not feeling well. If you're too sick to make this app work, then give back the money and just don't do the app right now. Do the app sometime in the future when you're feeling a little bit better. Being sick is not justification for taking people's money and under-delivering on a product. I'm sorry if that makes me an awful person, but that is genuinely how I feel. Hey guys. Ikenna here. Sorry, just feeling a little under the weather recently. Just wanted to talk a little bit about my app, Fluyo, and how progress is going. It was a little bit difficult to work on Fluyo with my appendix bursting every few hours, but you know, we're trying to make something good here. We're really trying to work on it here and make it real good. Yeah, it's a little buggy, and we're probably not gonna be able to get it done this year, maybe next year. But we are gonna be raising another $600,000 on WeFund. So if you maybe want to donate to that'd be That'd be pretty good. And you know, I'm trying to keep in high spirits. You know, I'm not as bad as some people out there. I'm really trying to keep the positivity up here. Oh, there we go. No, I got it. Oh, sorry, guys. It's just a little bit of internal bleeding. Don't worry about any of this. I'm just gonna go get myself cleaned up real quick. So yeah, that's all for this month's Fluyo update. Don't forget, I'm not feeling well, so that means I can take your money and overpromise and underdeliver on a product because I'm not feeling well. So that's going to be my excuse for everything that goes wrong with the app. Don't forget to give us even more of your money. We'll be releasing that app sometime in the future, I guess. And you're a bad person if you say anything critical about me because I'm in fact not feeling well, and all of my fans will hop in and remind you that I'm not feeling well. So please don't criticize me because, being sick means I have the right to take your money and just not deliver the product that I'm promising to promise you. Okay. So yeah, when the app inevitably comes out and is in a really awful state, I'll come out and remind you guys how sick I am. And we'll just continue the cycle from there, I guess. Take care of you. Oh, sorry. Take care, everyone. This might be the dumbest bit I've ever come up with. I literally bought bandages just to do that. Holy.
Because ultimately, I do know that 100,000 heads is better than 15. So we really want and need your feedback when it comes to future big product revamps. For example, let's build a better version of our Fluyo battles together. If you've used Fluyo, you might like our battles, but also find them a bit confusing or slow. We have this boost or / guard system to add strategy, but it's not intuitive for non-gamers, and it becomes repetitive once you do understand it. And currently, the battles, they don't really get your heart pumping. So here's an idea. What if we switch to a permanent attack mode where you have to beat the creature before it beats you? Now, we had something like this before, but we couldn't quite get the difficulty right. The key difference is now users could choose the difficulty of the creature that they're about to face. The higher the difficulty, the better the rewards and the more stars you earn. On easy mode, the creature attacks maybe every 20 seconds. You have time to think, and if you get the answer wrong, well, it's not so bad. But on hard mode, on the other hand, it's going to be really for people who want a challenge. The enemy might attack every 6 or 7 seconds. It's super fast paced. Can't really think much, and it really hurts if you get something wrong.
For somebody who wants to challenge Duolingo, you really haven't done a whole lot of research on the Duolingo community, have you? One of Duolingo's biggest complaints was about, their timed modes. What? How do you not know this? You're basically re-implementing something that Duolingo themselves kind of kicked to the curb. I know they still have it kind of in one of their smaller modes that you have to go through a bazillion menus in order to even find, but I feel like it's pretty common knowledge that the timed flashcard things didn't go over very well in Duolingo, so why are you going to put them in here?
Maybe you get a special attack move based off of an item that your dolphin has equipped that charges up and you can use occasionally. Hell, maybe even creatures could have their own special move. Okay, pause. So while I was editing this video, I realized it's a little hard to picture what I'm describing. So I actually delayed releasing this video and spent the last 7 days teaching myself how to code with O1, just so I could build a prototype of what I have in my head and show you guys instead of just explaining it. Now you can actually play a prototype of this new version of Fluyo Battles by going to fluyobattle.tiny.site. The link is also in the description, and you can select your language, your level, and play. It's best though if you play on desktop or laptop instead of your phone. After playing a few rounds, there is a button that will take you to a survey, and I would love to hear your feedback on whether you think this approach is more fun than what we currently have in the app. So please share your thoughts via the survey. It would really help.
At this point, I don't know if you're ever going to get the taste of foot out of your mouth, because you can't quite get it out. Are you basically admitting that it took you 7 days to create a battle system that's potentially better than the battle system you spent years creating for the app. A lot of these issues could have been solved so much earlier than they were. You just didn't do it.
Those were the 3 main issues at launch. Pretty beefy, but all fixable with the right people and enough hard work. Now on to what went right. Why did, despite these issues, we still get a lot of 4 and 5-star reviews?
A lot of 4 and 5-star reviews. A lot.
1. Design and music. Most people across the board loved the app's design and especially its music. This is huge because language learning apps typically aren't super interesting to look at. So the fact that people enjoy our aesthetic and our world is a big deal because the core of the app, what we teach and how we teach it, it is relatively easy to change now that we have the infrastructure and the visuals built. But creating a beautiful look and soundscape takes a lot of time and money to get right. So yeah, I mean, watching the community post screenshots of their fully decked out dolphins was awesome, and it really reminded me of my World of Warcraft days. Not to sound too much like a nerd, but but yeah. And here's my dolphin Hyung, by the way. He's pretty drippy, if I do say so myself. Number 2, people are actually learning. One of the coolest things ever is seeing people legitimately learn a new language with Fluyo.
Oh, you did not just... Where are these people? I demand to meet these people who have been learning with Fluyo and nothing else.
Hi.
I want to meet them. I refuse to believe that a single person exists that has genuinely gotten something out of Fluyo that they couldn't have gotten out of Duolingo or a similar app. Use Lingo, dear. Use Busu. Use Rocket Languages. Where is this person? Just one person that has gotten more out of Fluyo than they would have gotten out of something else. I want to meet them, legitimately. If you know where to find one of these people, if you know of a video or something, leave it in the comment section below. I want to check this person out. I want to pick this person's brain and find out how they tick.
I've seen a lot of praise for our audio lessons, how we break down grammar, and I've been watching videos of learners making real progress.
Doesn't that last character look a little too vertical to be
Oh, got it. It's too vertical to be got it. So it's gonna be because it's looking to the right. Got it.
That's it.
Now that should not be overshadowed by the app's rough edges.
Oh, ayun no gakusei. Oh, I'm coming for that ass. Ooh, this is gonna be good.
People are genuinely learning, and it warms my heart. And it's also a little bit strange for me because I've always been the language learning dude, and now I'm shifting to kind of being the language teaching dude, which is it's like a promotion. I don't know. Even myself, I've been secretly learning a language, which I'll reveal soon, next month, almost exclusively with Fluyo and Netflix.
Almost exclusively with Fluyo and Netflix. First of all, I have a feeling that Netflix is doing a little bit of heavy lifting, probably the same amount of heavy lifting as the word "a lot" when you've used it in previous sentences. Netflix is probably putting in a little bit more work here than Fluyo is. Let's just be real honest with each other here. But the fact that you can't even just limit it to those 2 things, and you gotta throw in the caveat that there are other things, is just... Don't look behind that curtain, okay? Fluyo, Netflix, and a few other things, but don't worry about that. Fluyo and Netflix. Gonna learn a language with Fluyo and Netflix, along with some other stuff.
Just those 2, and I've really been enjoying the experience so far. If you tried to get me to use another app, I wouldn't let you. But yeah, I mean, obviously our audio lessons, we can make them a little bit less long-winded, more engaging, and add more exercise, I can never say this word, exercise variations. But the bottom line is that people are learning, and that is amazing. Number 3, ambitious features. Another thing people have praised us on is our feature set. We've got a Discord-like social feature, pods, where people are making friends and practicing their languages.
So, social media. Well, you have Twitter.
We have mini games.
Duolingo also has mini games. In fact, now that I think about it, a lot of other apps have mini games. Battles, okay. Battles is a fairly unique feature, but I'd like to remind you that there are, in fact, other language learning apps out there that do have battles in them. First of all, Wagotabi came out like a year and a half ago and kicked your dolphin ass before you even released. That game's actually fairly fantastic.
Grammar lessons, vocab lessons.
Okay, now we're getting desperate. So, of the 5 features that you say are groundbreaking and people are praising you for how ambitious they are. Okay. Social media. How do I even respond to that? There's so many places online you can go to talk. Get Hello Talk. Get Facebook. Get Twitter. There are ways that you can talk to other language learners. That is not special. Battles, that is the one that I guess I will give you. Whatever, who cares? You yourself admitted the battles suck, so I don't even know what this is a selling point. Mini games, don't. You know as well as I do that there are plenty of apps out there, language learning apps that have mini games that are just fine. You're not special. Grammar and vocab lessons are 2 of the ambitious features that your app has? Huh? If I'm not mistaken, aren't grammar and vocab lessons like square zero when it comes to making a language learning app? Ambitious features.
Hi.
Ambitious features. Okay.
And from what I'm seeing, people appreciate how ambitious Fluyo is and see our vision to be an all-in-one place for language learning.
Okay, I'm convinced. All right. This is basically how Ikenna looks into the language learning community to find what it is he's looking for. This is the only thing I can imagine. This is the only way I can see that he's just completely blind to all of the massive criticisms that he's gotten. There's like 10 sycophants who keep telling him amazing things about his app and keep riding his dick. And then he's just completely blinders on to just the rest of the community. That's the only way this makes any sense to me.
Of course, it can't just be about having a lot of features. They all need to be stellar.
My brother, I will take one. I will take one stellar feature at this point. You don't got to make all of them stellar. Can we get one? If I get one stellar feature, I'll be a happy little senpai.
But it's cool to see people recognizing what we are attempting to build. And app development always takes twice as long and costs twice as much as you'd think. Even some people criticize the fact that to date that we've spent $2 million building the app, although it's out of a total of $3 million that we've raised, but $2 million directly from our bank account. Maybe I should have clarified that a little bit better. But the reality is that most major language learning apps raised several times more and developed fewer features. Hell, even for the first 3 years, we basically spread one well-paid US engineer's salary across 9 people. We were and are extremely cost efficient. So I just wanted to clarify that. We're not burning money, like we're like penny pinching like crazy. And yes, if I hadn't got sick, maybe it would have released in 3 years instead of 5, and we would have spent less. But life sometimes is the obstacles that you face, and I can't change what happened to me.
Hey, Ikenna, what's up? How are things going? Me and my friend here are 2 of the people that donated to your Fluyo Kickstarter at the $10,000 tier, because that was in fact a real tier that you offered, and we're both kind of dumb. But we were just wondering if maybe you could give us an update, you know, see how the app is unfolding.
I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning I break my legs, and every afternoon I break my arms. At night, I lie awake in agony until my heart attacks put me to sleep.
Even though I wish I could, because this is... So to recap, some things went really well and some things didn't.
List of things that went well. We made nearly $3 million. List of things that did not go well. Literally everything else.
And we are going to fix what didn't. Not just that, we're going to be building in public and bringing you along for the process. But yeah, overall, the most common comment, honestly, from my last video was the app is not 100% there yet. There's some issues, but it has a lot of potential. And honestly, I agree. In the words of my fiance, who's a singer, who expressed this to me, she said that you guys are honestly so lucky that you're making an app. Because when I release a song, that's it. It's done. I can't change it. But you guys can make 1,000 changes until you have the perfect creation. And that is exactly what we're going to do. I feel more confident than ever about the future of Fluyo because we put it into your hands. We got to see firsthand what works, what doesn't, and what people already love. And now it's just about rapidly improving everything, especially the things that you guys want us to.
I want to remind you guys that I showed you what the app currently looks like. Claimed that a month before releasing this video, they had been making rapid improvements to the app. Claimed that after this video was released, which was a little over a month ago, by the way, that they would be making rapid improvements to the app. And so far, the app looks almost identical to when it was released nearly 4 months ago. I would not be holding my breath if you're somebody who is still holding on hope that this app is going to be a killer app.
Personally, I am most excited about our full course revamp, making the battles much more fun, and improving UX and stability, because if we can do so over the next few months, Fluyo will be in a phenomenal place. And if you want to help us on our journey there are a few things you guys can do to help. 1. Use the app and leave feedback. If you haven't already, download Fluyo. The link is in the description. And if you're already using it, keep testing it and give us feedback. Let me know what you think.
Oh, more than happy to, Ikenna, my boy. I sure hope this video is giving you plenty of things to think about.
2. Leave a review. If you are loving the app and you haven't left a review yet on the App Store or Google Play Store, please do. It really helps. Also, if you left a review before but you were disappointed because something wasn't working and now it's been fixed, updating your review would really make a huge difference. 3. Support Fluyo's WeFunder campaign. So our WeFunder campaign is officially closing. This is your last chance, potentially ever, to own equity or shares in Fluyo while we're still small. So if you believe in Fluyo and think that one day we can rival Duolingo as an app and as a business, now is your opportunity to invest.
And now presenting the award for the biggest balls I've ever seen on YouTube. Ikenna of Fluyo. Yo, the balls. The balls on this man. Release the worst language learning app of all time after raising $3 million and taking 5 years to do it. The app comes out, it's almost unanimously hated amongst the entire language learning community. Have a YouTube channel with over 800,000 subscribers, and less than 5% of those subscribers are even willing to download the app and give it a chance in the first place. Get a few hundred people to review your app positively and have 1-star ratings be the second highest rating that people give to your app. Make a video half apologizing for the clear disaster that you have unleashed on this world. And then at the end of your apology video, hold your hands out like this and ask if maybe you'd like to give us some more money? Get in on the ground floor, guys. We're still a small company. We only need... How much do they need? I haven't even checked yet. How much do they need? We only need another $1,240,000. Please? Now, I will say, if you want to have a little bit of hope in humanity, I've got it for you here. During this video, it seems like he raised $707,758. Okay, so $707,000. Checking it now, the number is $707,728. So in this like month and a half, or however long ago it's been released, he has not made more money on his WeFundMe. He has actually lost $30. But Ikenna, where are they? Where are all of these people who have been using the app and learning and really believe in your project? Surely some of them would want to come. What's the minimum investment? $100. Okay, maybe not. I was gonna say maybe some of these people from your community that seem to love this app and really believe in it would want to come and help you reach that funding goal. But if you're taking no less than $100 to become a part of this, I don't know, man. I would definitely be hiring maybe a financial advisor and not necessarily more language experts and programmers. I think your problems might be a little more skin deep than that.
I absolutely believe that we will. And some people already like Fluyo better than Duo, even in our nascent stage, which is saying a lot. That said, the WeFunder link is in the description, or you could go to wefunder.com/Fluyo. If you've already invested, please listen up. Please check your email for a message titled Confirm Your Fluyo Investment. This is super important. If you do not confirm it, your investment will not go through. And if Fluyo becomes very successful in the future, you're going to be mad that your investment didn't go through. So please double check.
Oh, I almost feel a little bad for the guy. You can tell by the shakiness in his voice here that even he's having a tough time selling this. You know, if we become a Fortune 500 company, you're gonna be missing out.
4. Please stay tuned and keep a close eye on my channel, because starting next video, I'm officially switching back into full-time language learning content. I'll still, of course, do occasional Fluyo updates, but after years of mainly health and Fluyo related videos, I'm finally returning to my roots. And I am super excited, and I won't be alone. My new co-host starts next week, and I can't wait for you guys to see what we have planned.
I can't wait to see what you've got planned either. Unfortunately, this video was released getting pretty close to 2 months ago, and I haven't seen anything yet. Come on, don't keep us in suspense, Ikenna. I need more stuff to react to.
But yeah, thank you all for your support. I will do whatever it takes to make Fluyo the best language app in the world. Even if that means facing harsh feedback, I will do it all day. I'm in this for the long haul. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for the support. The journey is just beginning. Arigatou gozaimasu!
That's it for that video. Again, based on where the app has gone since he made this video, I'm really not holding out hope for this one, you guys. I'm sorry if you really wanted this to be good. I'm sorry if you are a fan of Ikenna and you really wanted to believe it as a project. She's dead, Jim. But let's not be all negative, okay? I can't make a video like this and not give some actual positive reinforcement here, okay? So here we go. The most exciting thing that this app had to offer was the idea of more communication within the language learning community. If we had something that was a little bit like Duolingo, but we could engage more with our friends or really test our skills against other people, I think that idea alone is worth a little bit of money, and it's definitely worth looking into. However, the app has so many issues right now that even if it were more multiplayer focused, I don't think it would be very fun or engaging. And I think the language learning community would still continue to push it to the side in lieu of actual immersion, right? So here are some things that could be fixed. The multiplayer should be a little bit more improved rather than having all of these dumb little battles and stuff, which, don't get me wrong, I love stuff like that. Pokemon fan here, Digimon fan here, Metabots fan here. I love this. I love stuff like that. But as far as language learning goes, it's not that effective. It would be more effective to have maybe like role play scenarios, for example. So maybe you have like a scenario where your dolphin goes into a coffee shop and then like another dolphin comes in and plays the role of the shopkeeper. In fact, you could even have like a thing like a lobby system where you queue as either a shopkeeper or as a customer, and then you kind of role play that scenario with the other person. So if one person who is the customer comes in, maybe some bubbles pop up with some potential things like, order one of these things in Japanese, and then they actually try and order it using whatever method you have available. I don't think speech is something we should be looking at yet, but if you can build maybe a sentence that has to do with ordering something, and then the other person responds with, okay, how do you accept this order? How do you let them know what you have? How do you let them know what their change is? Some kind of dynamic like that is a lot more exciting than these random battle things that just don't really seem to be implemented very well. And honestly, even with your current ideas, don't seem like they're going to be that effective. The pods also are kind of awful. They're not that great. If there was some kind of like instant messenger thing built within the app, I think that would work a little bit better. Like if while I'm doing lessons, I can also like keep up with my pod here. Like if there's like a little notification thing that like my pod's up and I can like chat with people that are in my pod while I'm actually going through the lessons, I think that would be fine. One of the things that Duolingo got rid of that people were a big fan of are like the community posts. So if community members could actually post on lessons and give feedback, I think that would be extremely valuable. That would be one of those things that like, this seems like such a slam dunk, and I don't know why you guys aren't doing it. Look for features that Duolingo have removed over time that you can now implement because you're trying to beat Duolingo. So get the stuff that Duolingo kicked out that the community really liked and start implementing it. Here's another thing you can do. The ads are so obnoxious. That's one of the main things that people complain about with Duolingo, is that the ads are obnoxious if you're a free member. Guess what's here? In Fluyo, in droves. Maybe cut down on that a little bit. You don't want to be adopting Duolingo's problems. You want to be adopting the things that Duolingo does right and then improving on them. I don't know, dude. I feel like all of this emphasis on how nice the world looks and how you want to implement all this lore when the app still has so many problems, I think it's silly.
Hi.
I think this video was a very silly way to try and apologize for what you've done. There's definitely some things that you could do better. Here's one thing. Maybe just give out your premium subscription for free for right now. I mean, with how the app is shaping up, I really don't think you guys are going to be losing that much money if you just give like a year worth of premium subscription to everybody just to see, how things go. I think that would at least be a step in the right direction in fixing some bridges with the community. Because I think even if you do that, a lot of people aren't going to come back. I think the ship is pretty much sunk, but I for the few people that are still sticking with it, I sure hope you get what you want. The only way that I could see the lore stuff being really good is maybe if this turns into immersive content. So like if we get some comics about the world, or if we get some little like animations about the world, and then that gets incorporated as like immersion content, I could see it, but I don't know. I digress. I'm done with this video. I think I'm done with Fluyo for the time being, unless something really big happens. If Ikenna decides to upload some more content to his channel, more than happy to check it out. Can't wait to hear more about how sick he is. It's going to be great. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comment section below.
Hi.